Drew Sports presents Drew's Fab 5 Weekend Predictions. Hey everyone, how you doing today? Hope everybody's having a fantastic day. I am ready for the weekend. I hope you are too. We are going to be getting into the Sweet 16 and the Elite 8 in the men's and women's college basketball tournaments. It's great to have March Madness back, plus some other good stuff, a big UFC fight, and also a couple of big NBA games this weekend. It should be fun, as I'm going to be doing every Friday here on 4th. I'm going to be making my predictions, my top predictions of the weekend. So let's get to it. Try to make you guys some money for those of you here in Vegas or in states in which you can legally gamble. If I can get it. Alright, so don't you judge me. I can rip paper, can't you see? Biggie, 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 can't you see? Sometimes the world just hypnotizes me. Anyways, we're going to go to the March Madness West region first. So who do we have left? We have Gonzaga against Creighton and USC versus Oregon. So I'm going to pick actually all of these matchups this weekend just as a little bonus since it is March Madness. This is the one region I'm actually doing pretty well in. Pick Gonzaga to play against USC. That's what I had at the initial beginning. Could get this region perfecto. And who am I going to have in the Elite Eight? I got to take the Zags. They are the best team in college basketball. They are going to make it to the Final Four. Pencil it down. And then also a bonus pick, I'm going to pick all of the women's regions as well. In the Elite Eight, in the first matchup, I'll have UConn versus Baylor. I'm going to take the UConn Women Huskies to get to the Final Four in women's college basketball. UConn. So Gonzaga and UConn so far has your two teams in the Final Four. And if you don't like it, well, too bad. Next, we're going to go to the South region winner. We have Baylor versus Villanova and Arkansas versus the upstart Oral Roberts Golden Eagles. So in the first matchup, Baylor versus Villanova, I think this is where Colin Gillespie's injury is going to come back and bite the kitty cats in the tail. Haha, get it? I'll take the Bears, the Baylor Bears. And then Arkansas versus Oral Roberts. I am going to have to take Arkansas in this one. You know, I don't want to, but I gotta say the run for Oral Roberts is probably going to come to an end. I think they'll be game. I don't think Arkansas is going to win by like 30, but I think Arkansas pulls away in the second half. We have Baylor versus Arkansas in the Elite Eight. I probably should have all along went with Baylor, who is like 1A best team in the country. I'm going to take Scott Drew's Baylor Bears to make it to the Final Four. As I circle, leader of the ripple. In my second matchup in the women's, I'm going to have Missouri State against Maryland in the Elite Eight. The upstart Missouri State upset Stanford, but I'm going to have to take Maryland to get to the Final Four in the women's. So that's my second pick in the women's bracket. Maryland and UConn so far, Baylor and Gonzaga in the men's. Trust me, that's the way it's going to be. And you can send me a tweet or message this and say, man, Drew, you were correct. Because I always am correct, right? Right? As you can see that region, I totally had Baylor versus Arkansas in the Elite Eight. If you watch my video, you know I did. Haha. All right, now to the Midwest region. We have Loyola Chicago, Oregon State, Syracuse, and Houston. All right, so in this matchup versus Loyola Chicago and Oregon State, I am going to take Loyola Chicago. Oregon State is one of the hottest teams in the country, but the power of Sister Jean. Cameron Krutwig, who looks like Officer Farva from Super Troopers. Just dude is, Team Ramrod. Got to take Loyola Chicago. Syracuse versus Houston. If you watched, I did pick Syracuse to go to the Elite Eight. I still believe in the Qs. I think the Qs pulls the upset. I think Houston's going to have issues scoring against that zone in this game. Buddy Boeheim making some big-time shots. Syracuse and Loyola Chicago are your Elite Eight, and I got to take Loyola Chicago to win. Just gotta do it. Gotta do it. And in the women's, I know I'm kind of going chalky here, but I think the women's going to be pretty chalky. I'm going to take South Carolina to be the third team in the Final Four over Louisville. It's a tough one. I think that's going to be a good game. But I'm going to take the Gamecocks to be game. Haha, get it? And make it to the Final Four. All right. And then in the March Madness East region, we have Michigan versus the Florida State Seminoles and UCLA versus Alabama. Yeah, I'm doing it. I believe in Leonard Hamilton's team. I think this is where the Isaiah Livers injury is going to bite Michigan State in the butt. I'm going to take the Florida State Seminoles to advance to the Final Four. And then UCLA versus Bama. This actually is going to be a good game, but I actually think UCLA, you could argue UCLA is actually the more talented team of the two, even though Alabama had a better season. I think UCLA is getting hot at the right time. I'm going to take the Bruins in a little mini upset there. That's kind of my, I guess, big upset. You can say Syracuse over Houston, but I actually think Syracuse plus 6.5 is actually the play of the Sweet 16 in any game. And then in the Elite Eight, I'm going to stick with it. Florida State makes it to the Final Four. And in the fourth team, you know what? Let's go with a shocker here. Even though it's my rival, Arizona Wildcats. I think their defense is fantastic. I think them as a 3 seed. They're our surprise in the Final Four in the women's. Just ride the Wildcats. I think they get it done. They beat Texas A&M and NC State to get to the big game. To the Big Four, I should say. So in the women's, you got Arizona, South Carolina, UConn, and darn it, I'm drawing a blank. And Maryland. I was about to say Louisville, but not Louisville, Maryland in the Final Four. And then in the men's, you got Florida State, Gonzaga, Baylor, and Loyola Chicago, Sister Jean. Loyola Chicago getting back to the Final Four. I actually don't think I actually picked that, but you know what? That's who's getting back. Loyola Chicago over Syracuse. I think that's actually going to be an awesome Elite Eight game. I just realized I didn't pick that. But now I did. Don't judge me. Just go with my picks because they're going to be right. You'll see. And then one big NBA game this weekend. I thought about going with UFC. Well, let's actually go to the NBA. You know, the big game of the weekend, Saturday night, it's the Philadelphia 76ers at the LA Clippers. Without Joel Embiid, I like the Clippers to get it done in this game. As long as the number is 5 or less, take the Clippers. More than 5, stay away. Maybe take their money line. Maybe a parlay with the Nuggets or another team that will probably win their game on Saturday night. But I would say Clippers is a good play on that. I think the Sixers are going to be fine without Embiid. He hyperextended his knee. It sounds like he's going to be out 2 to 3 weeks. The Sixers are still going to be a force in the playoffs. I mean, the Nets, obviously, with Kyrie Irving doing whatever Kyrie Irving does, and Kevin Durant being injured for who knows how long, and James Harden also. I think James Harden has only missed the one game, but the Nets could go on a slide or just kind of meander around. So really, their biggest threat probably for the top seed in the East, to be honest with you, might just be the Milwaukee Bucks and Giannis. And we've seen Milwaukee in the playoffs. I'm sure Philadelphia feels like, even if they didn't have home court, they might be able to beat those guys. But yeah, take the Clippers, the Clip Show, Kawhi Leonard, Paul George. As long as the number is 5 or less, we don't have a number yet for that game, but that is my bet. At least the Clippers to win the game on Saturday, at the very least. So thanks again, everyone. Like and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at Stu Drew, Facebook Sports Stu with Drew. And you can also follow me at drewsports.com. Oh yeah. Thank you so much. Have yourselves a great weekend and enjoy. Still there? He's doing well there. Bye. I'll see you next time.